Have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer absolutely pulled the pants down of the Glazers and exposed something that we already had a suspicion, the overall recruitment structure, the overall player power, and how things have been run at Manchester United? Well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he got sacked, and now the NDA period is over, so he can speak freely. And we're going to look at the clip when he sat down with his former teammates Gary Neville and Roy Keane in the Stick to the Football podcast, revealing some damning but interesting information. Let's go over the clip and talk about it. Now, of course, I'm going to play this clip. It's from copyright reasons, but I'm going to play a little bit snippets and I'm going to react, pause, and talk really about what I think in the current situation, what's going on with Ten Hag as well. So let's do this, people. Let's go.
When you look back, Ollie, in terms of, you said about learnings, what would you say the key learnings were of your sort of time at United back there as a manager?
How long you got?
Yeah, it's true. How long do you got? And that is a joke, but it is very true. Managers haven't really survived for 3 consecutive seasons. They've been sacked after the second season under the Glazers ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left. Even Jose Mourinho didn't even last. Not even Van Gaal, right?
Loads.
Stay all day, to be fair. No, but the big ones, the ones that you think, what could I have done? What could I have done differently? What would I have directed differently or looked for from above differently?
So this is the question directly. What can I have done differently? So every manager that comes in wants to be the winner, wants to be the one that changes the direction to put Manchester back on the top. But it's always been impossible with the Glazers at the helm and Woodward.
So many decisions. Obviously, you come in, you get the remit of smiles back on people's faces, fans' faces, players enjoying themselves. Then the owners, they knew that we didn't invest enough. They asked me to be patient and then just take one step at a time. And
did you feel that they had any?
Oh, so the owners, meaning referring to the Glazers, ask him to be patient. Yeah, they give you a little bit by little bit, but they're lying to you. Like every manager that had come in the first season, they spend a little bit and they promise you the world. But second season, what happens is they pull the rug under your feet. So Glazer's been lying all the time. And we're going to listen to how the recruitment structure works.
Any intentions of actually you being patient and they're going to do something to help you do what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I think so. And it felt like it that summer when we signed Rafael, Jade and Cristiano. It's like...
So that summer we signed big star players, Rafael Varane, Jadon Sancho. There was a big money spending, and that was the season, make it or break it. And then Cristiano Ronaldo came in. That wasn't really Ole's choice. He just happened to be available, but that was the downfall of Ole.
Like, take the next step. Right. But then the team has to play that way as well. So obviously the recruitment has been talked about so many times, and when you come in, you agree to, because you sign a contract, you agree to how they want to do it, and you're going to do it to the best of your ability.
So you sign a contract and you agree how you want to do it. I mean, how they want to play, not how you want to play. Now, pause that for a second. If you do remember going back that Ten Hag was criticized because he said in an interview, I'm not here to play the Ajax way. I'm here to play the Manchester United way. Well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer totally exposed that he's been told to play this way, not his way. Even if he tries to change, even if he tries to recruit certain people that fits his mold of style, he's been always overruled by the establishment above.
I wanted to. I tried to change it gradually, little by little, because at times you need to sign young players that you haven't really scouted, or you haven't got 8 reports on or 20 reports on. Little things.
Mm-hmm. People talk about... So little things, like you're trying to sign players that are not world beaters, that you've been scouted, that you know in your network. Does that sound familiar? Erik ten Hag, same thing, right? But no, we've just been going for the shirt sellers. And I'm going to get to that point later as well, because I did a really good article regarding this that I'm going to share with you in the video description about as well.
Sorry, Gary, people talk about, we speak about that a lot, United's recruitment. So was it more of a case when you said you signed the contract that almost they were more in charge? Because right now it feels as if it's more like Erik ten Hag sitting for the last 18 months has
that was his
almost been in
stipulation, wasn't
charge. Was it? How was it for you?
You sign a deal wherever you take a job. Like
true.
when you sign up to something, and of course you've got bosses. And it wasn't like David Gill and Sir Alex Ferguson when they two just ran the whole thing. There was more departments above me that I had to go through to get decisions made, and I was happy enough to.
So would they present?
I was just happy enough to what? So basically, Ed Woodward established layers of hierarchy, impossible almost to get your players through, right? Like Ed Woodward appointed consultants that thought they knew football. Ed Woodward wanted to have that egoistic, narcissistic that I know everything what's better. I want to be the hero. So for you to get players through the door, you have to go through all the way up from different levels of hierarchy approvals, all the way down to Joel Glazers to get the sign off of a player. I know that in first hand. I worked as an intermediate.
Present players to you and say, okay, we're looking for a right winger, we're looking for a centre forward. You've got to choose one from this five, or would you say to them, I want this player?
The scouting process was very thorough and maybe too thorough. Thorough, yeah. I don't stop speaking English as well, you know, when you're in Norway. And then obviously I come up with names as well when you watch players, but they've got to be really well scouted. And then we sit. And then I've got veto, the scouts got veto, the owner, obviously, who pays,
Those three
pays the
vetoes.
check.
We talked.
So there's 3 vetoes that is going on currently at Manchester United. You know, I don't know any other footballing club that has 3 vetoes. In a modern football club, you sit as a team. You will sit there with Omar Baradov, you will sit there with Dan Ashwood, with the head of recruitment and the coach, and sit and talk about, this is all the scouting reports, this is the list, what is the best player available in the market, let's go for this character, right? Imagine him, Ole, sitting there with Darren Fletcher, John Murtaugh, and Joel Glazer, that has no idea of football. Of course, Manchester United always had a great scouting network, but never did they sign the unknown player. Let's continue.
About that a few weeks ago, all about veto. Who has the veto? So you're talking about multiple vetoes right the way up the chain.
So I never signed a player that I didn't want.
Okay.
And the scouts never said yes to a player they didn't want. What? And obviously the owner or Ed, they never signed players that they weren't comfortable signing.
But Ed,
wait. So basically, scouts had a veto. Ole had a veto. Woodward kind of had a financial veto, and then all the way to Joel Glazer. That's 4 different layers. No wonder Manchester United took so long to sign anyone in the summer windows. And when they actually get to that decision, 2 weeks left of the window, they get pulled down the pants and the price has gone up. Typically. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer here is totally exposing the way it is currently at Manchester United, without even Omar Barada coming in, without even Dan Ashwood being here.
wouldn't have a veto.
No, Ed didn't.
A financial veto, maybe.
But it was the scouts and the manager.
But just specifically, because it's a little bit of a sort of...
So scouts and the manager. Okay. Scouts and the manager.
It's a bit mystical about what actually Manchester United's structure's been over the last 10 years. Who is sat in the room when you're signing a player?
Who is sitting in the room signing the players? This is very interesting.
It's sort of, if you like, who is responsible for finding the players? How involved is the manager in that? How does it work?
The manager watches all the players, obviously, and there's multiple lists, and all the scouts. I don't know how many scouts they've employed, but I don't think there's many players they miss having reports on.
So they're all on the list.
So they're all on the list. There is no player that they miss. Of course, Manchester United had a vast majority of scouts out there and provide scouting reports. So everyone is on the list. But United only signs shirt sellers, commercial values, not what the manager really, really wants.
Basically.
Yeah. And then they pick 5. Who are we going to sign? Obviously, he will be 100 million, he's 70, he's 50, 30, 20. And then it depends on the budget. And it's all sorts.
It's the budget. So if you had a budget of 100 million, you wouldn't splash that on one single player like Manchester United did in many, many cases. because they look at from a commercial value, shirt selling value. Eventually that will pay off, like Cristiano Ronaldo did, by the way. No, instead of going for 100 million, split it up in three. You get three good players, and they didn't do that.
And then you meet players, and then, yeah, I like his attitude. I don't like his attitudes. Yes, no.
There was
So, yes, no. Who has the final say? I don't like his attitude. Now, he's not going to sell me shirts. That came down to Woodward and Joel Glazer at the end of the day, because the chain of command always go all the way to the top, and they have to approve it. So, you can imagine what the current management is going through as well.
There's a point where I remember texting you, I don't know if you remember, where I said, you need to spend their fucking money.
Yeah, because
it got to the point where I thought you weren't getting supported, and I've never texted anybody in football about that type of thing, but I've obviously known you sat next to you in the dressing room. I just thought, you need to spend their fucking money quickly.
Yeah, you need to spend the fucking money, of course. But who is listening? Who is above you? John Murtaugh, the gatekeeper. They're not going to spend their money. Glazers never spend their own money until they see that there is something returning back. And we're going to stick to that point later as well. Let's continue.
Because you need some players, you know what I mean?
We need the players, yeah. And to be fair...
Spend it wisely.
Yeah, obviously.
That's the key.
It's just not been about spending smartly. It's been spending stupidly. United spent about 1 billion on different players, on different managers, with nothing to prove for. And this is what we have right here, right now with Erik ten Hag. He's got players inherited all the way down from Louis van Gaal, right? Still there. Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, all the way up. Yeah, it's all about clearing out that dead wood to start fresh with a piece of canvas, filling up with your players, the one you want to play your style. But as soon as you recruit in something that you didn't want, like a Cavani, like a Ronaldo, you just have to adapt to your playing style to fit Cavani and Ronaldo. So Ole never planned for this, and that was the downfall of Ole.
Not as in like just frivolously, just absolutely. He needed to bring players in. It was obvious.
You needed to have the right players, and I felt gradually, being second and third in my two full seasons, I thought we had improved really well ahead of Liverpool, behind City both seasons. And it was about the next step. Are we ready for it?
Yeah, but that's the hardest one, Ollie. That was the hardest one.
When we started that season, the owners and they all agreed we got the fourth best squad, because Liverpool, City, we felt Chelsea had a better squad than we had, and it was Champions League again. That was the target.
You were told that was
so. Champions League has always been the target for the Glazers, not winning a Premier League, just getting up to top four, generate more money. And Ollie said, we have reached a trajectory. We need to go to the next level. Are you willing to back me? You know what Glazers does the second season? They don't. But they still want you to prove to get them to the Champions League.
was a target, were you?
I'm 100% sure that we would have if I'd stayed that season.
So he's 100%. If he was backed, they will reach the Champions League. But we know he got sacked.
Absolutely sure, because what happened after I left didn't really improve things.
Nope. Same old shit. Same old system.
But that's
That's
my point. He knew what he was doing. He was mature enough
I think
to get
with
that.
Bellingham...
So there we're going to talk about, recommendations. Jude Bellingham was there. They were talking about Declan Rice's. They were talking about Erling Haaland. Now, Erling Haaland is something that we're going to listen to here right now, which is absolutely shocking.
And Haaland, I think they know how good they are. They've almost got their careers mapped out. I think of the way Haaland moved to sort of Salzburg, then it's Dortmund.
Haaland was my next one, to be honest with you, because you obviously
I had him.
You had him.
Yeah, I had him in Molde for about 18 months. Yeah, 2 seasons, more or less. And the summer before I got here, we're in Manchester.
Yes.
I rang the club, said, you've got to sign this boy. He'll be top, absolutely top class. That was June, July 18. And they said, no, they had enough reports. So,
no. We don't know this kid. We have enough reports. Enough reports just laying in a pile somewhere, in a box, with nobody really look at. And that's the thing. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer recommended the legend, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who is a legendary striker, that's coached this kid who nobody knew, Erling Haaland, to say, you got to sign this boy. And they said, nah.
Okay, no problem. Then I become the temporary or caretaker.
Interim.
Then we'd sold him to Salzburg. I tell the club straight away, buy him straight away before he's plays for them, because he didn't play for them for 3 or 4 months. Just sign him now because he's got a release clause. Yeah. We knew that because we knew, and no one else then would have paid that money.
Because nobody else knew who he was back then. Now guess how much the release clause was.
What kind of money would it have been?
20 million euros.
20 freaking million euros, and the club said no. But guess what?
So
bargain.
Yeah, and it would have been a bargain. Yeah, it would. And maybe at that time, even though with his links with Alfie and City and Leeds, maybe I think he would have thought.
At me, far.
Yeah, yeah. I think
You wouldn't have brought Roy to meet him, would you, if he was coming over?
Did you then say the actual report of the scouts?
Yeah, I've got it.
He wasn't. What I'm trying to say is the scouting reports of Erling Haaland. They felt he wasn't at the level of Manchester United, or Erling Haaland thought that was too big a jump. Whose decision was it not to?
No, it was the club's decision.
It was the club's decision. Can you believe it? I mean, those clowns are sitting there needs to be sacked.
To not go for him then. I
What's
said
the club?
It wasn't a money issue.
I don't want to
though.
So the
scouting department.
We never made bids or never went in for him until after they realised when he started scoring for Salzburg. But then Dortmund were there, Juventus were there, everyone was there.
What was his price tag then? A lot more.
There was another release clause that was not bad.
Oh, okay.
Right.
60.
But you look back.
60 million. 60 million. Right? The release clause, 60 million. You could have got him for 20 and the club said no, but then they realized, oh, he's starting to become a name. Yeah, maybe he could be a shirt seller. Too late.
Ollie, you're on about, like, could you think sometimes a manager, not everybody gets every player they're after, but could you like been stronger going, no, he is like...
I've had him for 18 months to sign him.
You've had inside him
because you know them, and you know...
And you were fighting your corner from that point of view.
Yeah, you know that kid, he gives everyone so much energy. He's such a great lad. You just see him smiling and...
Another great lad, yeah, we like that.
Yeah. No, but he's got more than just being a great lad, because he's such a team player, and one-on-one with the keeper, he doesn't think about his own stats. He passes if someone else is like, I can give it you and it's 100% goal.
Yeah.
So he's a gem. He's a gem.
So he's a gem. That was kind of a little bit of the clip. So if we pause for a second, he was fighting his corner because he's managed Haaland. He managed Haaland. He knew exactly the trajectory of Haaland. But the club said no. Now I want to bring back to certain stories as well, because this correlates as well with Ten Hag. You know, he was adamant to get Anthony dos Santos. He's backing him, and his stats at Ajax was phenomenal. Comparing to the stats where he is now, it is horrendous. So what's going on with that signing? Is Ten Hag to blame, or is it more of the personal level within Anthony dos Santos at the moment? Another story that I also have in mind is that Moises Caicedo's agent came knocking on Manchester United's door to say, listen, I have a fantastic talent here. He's only going to cost you £7 million. He got rejected out of the door. He got rejected out of the door to say, by John Murtaugh, to say, he's not a shirt seller. The agent just went to Brighton. They signed him up for £7 million. And guess what? Chelsea bought him for 120 almost. That is the club that we are at the moment. Now, media is now coming out to say that Ten Hag needs to go. Ten Hag is bad. Ten Hag this. Ten Hag doesn't know what he's doing. Well, Ten Hag has pretty much gone in to say, well, I need this type of player, but it's been overruled. The club has gone into sign Mason Mount of his head, but it's clear and obvious to ask Ten Hag, is it okay? Do you want this player? But I don't really want him. He's not on my priority list, but okay, I take him if there's nothing else. It's like you being hungry and you go to McDonald's and you say, I want to order a Big Mac supersize with everything on. But the chef or the clerk comes back to me, sorry, sir, we only have a Happy Meal. Are you happy? Will you have a toy? And that is what's going on at Manchester United at the moment. So big up for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Big up for really exposing what's really going on at Manchester United currently. So one can only hope for that Omar Barada comes in as soon as possible with Dan Ashwood, with the head of recruitment, so we can stop this Glazers shambolics that's been going on for 18 years at his club. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments. Did you enjoy watching this clip? The full clip you can watch here in the video description. It's worth a watch. Like and subscribe. Now, big up, people, and sorry for hanging in there. I've been trying to display the comments, but there was a membership gifted that I need to show attention to. Flying Fish gifted 5 membership, and for there we deserve some fireworks. Big up, guys. Big up. So basically, Ivan Lord become a membership on Flying Fish. They came in about 15 minutes ago, but since I was reviewing the video, I could not display it. But I'm doing it here, right now. Also, Curless87, big up to you, became a member. Give Fishy Fish a massive thank there as well. Ranjit Singh was also gifted a membership. Big up to you as well. Welcome to the family as well. Andy Cooper. Cooper was gifted a membership by Flying Fish as well. And that's about it. So please, guys, give him a massive pat on the back. And I'm going to bring in my panel. We're going to talk about this cool and composed. I have Uncle Jimmy coming to the stage. Big up, Jimmy. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good as usual. How are you, bad boy?
Not too bad. I thought that it was a brilliant expose by Ollie. Now, Ollie is a very nice guy, right? He would never piss anyone off. He could have gone a little bit harder, but you could read between the lines what he's saying. Yeah. So, what is your overall take on this? Oh, you disappear. He's got bad connections. Jimmy has bad connections. Now we wanted the truth, and Jimmy disappeared. Hopefully, he gets back again. So anyway, I'm just gonna go back and let's see where Jimmy is coming back again. Unfortunately, his internet is playing up. Are you there, Jimmy? Jimboy?
I think I'm here. I don't know what's. Do you know what? My internet never does this. I don't know what's going on today. I have no idea why he's doing this to me today.
We can hear you. Oh my God, the Glaze has been hacking his internet. To be honest. Yeah. In the meantime, Jago Master is in the house. Big up, big up. Dark Crow is saying, Mr. Ruby, every ant and cockroach in the world knew that the manager would get the players that they wanted at Manchester United. And I knew it as well, yet he became the manager, and now we have become crybabies. Well, you know what? Crybabies are not crybabies, my friends. You know, we all knew that something is going on behind the scenes, and Ollie said it himself, basically. Like, yeah, I signed the contract. I was told that you should play this way, and this is the only way we can play. And they backed him in the beginning of the window and said you just have to be patient. And that has been the lie exposed, pretty much, according to my opinion, because every single manager had the same treatment. Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and these are pedigree award-winning CVs. And Ollie said, like, if it wasn't for them, I would have made Champions League, right? The failure of Cristiano Ronaldo, if you really watch this clip further down the road, the link is in the description, right? You will absolutely understand that he was forced upon to have Cristiano Ronaldo, 100%. Hey, Cristiano is available. Do you want him? Hey, oh yeah, it's like that McDonald's, like you order this meal and you just be happy to get something. But that cost him his job, right? Because he said basically, like, we finished third and fourth, and it was the natural way to go forward. And I expected backing from the Glazers, but we didn't. So the Glazers only wanted the Champions League, right? And now you can sort of compare this to a Ten Hag as well. What's going on in these certain circumstances? You know, you can understand that Ten Hag is used to work at Ajax under a certain structure. You have Overmars there, you had and Van der Sar, and then he comes to Manchester United, signs this contract to say, yeah, well, I will have full veto. Yeah, perhaps. Because why? Because these clowns don't have a clue what they're doing. John Murta is not a sporting director. He doesn't have a clue. You know, I did a piece and report regarding this, that Anthony Dos Santos' agent pulled his pants down. And he said, who goes on a holiday in the middle of a fucking transfer window and comes back with 2 weeks left of the window in August? Yeah. They had initial negotiations in the beginning. They could have signed him for 35, 40. But then Murta went away. And the incompetencies regarding this club has always been, we appoint consultants that we listen to. We have a scouting network that is massive, but we don't listen because we put everything in a pile, on a long list of short list. But at the end of the day, it's always been about the shirt sellers, right? Haaland is an example. It's a big, massive mistake. When Solskjaer calls up the club as the legend that he is, to tell him, guys, I'm managing this Haaland kid. You should sign him up. Nah, not interesting. Move on. Then he gets the interim job. Still recommends this player is going to be a world beater. And the scouts and everyone else looked at it and said, nah. It wasn't until he started to score goals in Salzburg. And what happened? We all saw it. 65 million release clause, Dortmund. Boom, swoop up. Same thing goes with Declan Rice and Bellingham. Shambolics. So, and he also mentioned in this interview that he had to change his style of play because of Ronaldo and Cavani. He had to. Right. Now, Jimmy is back. Are you back, Jimmy?
I think so. Just tell me you
We
can hear
can
me.
hear
That's
you,
all I
buddy.
ask. Tell me you can hear
We
me.
can hear you.
That's good.
I was
That's good.
holding up
I'm
the
so
fort.
sorry, man.
No
I'm
worries,
so
man.
sorry. So sorry, man. So sorry, man.
No worries, man. You're all good, man. You're all good. We all love you, man. You get
No,
love
it's good.
hearts
It's
from
good
me.
to be back. It's good to be back. You know, I haven't been on for a while, so you know it's good because it's been so. I've been so traumatized, Mick. I'm traumatized. You know,
Talk to us.
this trauma is you know it's getting to a different level. You know, when I have conversations with people now, like my fellow Man United fans, my cousin who's also my best friend, you know, he's big Man United fan like me. You know, we go to Old Trafford together. And we were having a conversation on Sunday after the match, and we were just reflecting on like how we used to enjoy watching football. Because what's happened is because of Manchester United's performances, it takes away the joy that you get from football.
True
So
that.
it's not, you can't even enjoy watching other teams play because other teams are playing this very basic, good, efficient football. And you know everything's working all right. You know they're looking good. Players are working hard, and you know you watch other teams are just so professional, and then you watch us play, and it's like you can't enjoy football because Man United they're traumatizing us on a daily basis, and it's you know
You.
for some of us it filters into our lives, man. You know it just
No, that's
this team
facts,
is a
Jimmy.
is a
I feel the same.
big part of our lives, you know. So
Right,
yeah,
that's
it's a shame. It's a real shame, but we move on, innit? We move on. We move on.
yeah,
We'll
that's
see what
absolutely
we'll
facts.
see what Ineos are saying, innit? We'll see what Ineos is saying.
Yeah, it's absolutely facts what you're saying there, Jimmy, because, I feel the same, It is just to watch, a bunch of players that have no cohesion, no understanding. They don't know each other. And if you kind of look at what Arteta did, like, everyone is jumping on Manchester United bandwagon to slate the manager and everything else, but giving a free pass to Arteta, giving a free pass to Pochettino. But no, it's got to be Manchester United. The knives are out there, like, the biggest club in the world, right? Arteta finished first season 8, second season 8, And it wasn't until he started to get, mandate to clear out the dead woods. We're talking about what? Aubameyang, the bum, right? And
Yeah.
Lacazette and all that, and Shaka and all those bad recruitments that he inherited. And the same thing needs to happen to Ten Hag, right? But he's been overruled by the looks of it.
Yeah.
If you watch Ollie's report.
Yeah. But you see that the you mention these names, but they're not a Manchester United. They're not a
No,
Manchester United. That's the
no.
difference. They're not a Manchester United. So the tax is different in Man United. You know, at Man United, it's this happens in society. It's just how it is. You have to be. This is what you get for supporting. One of the biggest clubs in the world. You will always suffer the tax. You'll always suffer the Manchester United tax. It's not, and you know what? It's so blatant that you see. I'll give you an example. If an Arsenal midfielder is not performing well, no one talks about it, right? No one talks about it. When you get if you look at Partey, right? They signed Partey, all the hype around Partey. Thomas, Partey is the one. He's going to take over the league and blah blah blah. What did he do? What's he done at Arsenal?
Nothing.
What's he done? Is he, when you think about Premier League midfielders, is he in your top 5? Is he in your top 7? When you think about Premier League midfielders, he's not. He's flopped, right? He's flopped. But guess what? You'll hear nothing about what a flop he is. Look at how much they took a piss out of Donny van de Beek as a Manchester United midfielder that's flopped. Right? This is a kid who wasn't even playing any games, but these guys are slagging him off like he was playing every game and he failed.
Yeah.
This kid wasn't even playing games. Partey was playing every game.
What about Nicolas Pepe? They signed him for 80 million.
Pepe, big hype, 78 million. Big man, Pepe was. These guys were saying Pepe is as good as Henri. I was hearing them in spaces. Pepe is as good as Henri. They told me Pepe as good as Henri. I said, really? Let's see then. Nothing. No one talks about him. We'll laugh about it, for 2 seconds, but no one cares. It's Arsenal. If you're at Manchester United, it's different. This is why when people are talking, I know we're probably going to talk about this, but when people are mentioning manager names, I want that manager. No, they should come to you. Brother, Manchester United is a whole different beast. Whole different beast. It's not this. Manchester United are not a football club. Manchester United are a culture. This is not Manchester United are so big. Manchester United are, as Barcelona and Real Madrid are the only other teams I can think that have this culture at the club. And for us, unfortunately, our culture relied heavily on the club being successful. So, now that we're not successful with that culture, there's a lot of things cutting into that culture, and it's, it's dispersing a little bit.
But that culture has become toxic. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. That culture has become toxic because we haven't won anything.
Toxic, yeah. Because we're not winning.
Dividing the fan base. And basically the fan base is becoming diluted in a way that always to look at sucking the manager is the solution, or replace this player, we will be better. It's just a short-term fix, it's duct tape FC. But you know what? Yeah. He mentioned something very important here, which we already knew. And the club is basically forcing players upon the managers to say, I didn't want him because he doesn't suit my style. But hang on, it's Cavani. He's available. That means that your playing style goes out the window. You now need to sort of adjust towards Cavani, Ronaldo. And that's just how Ollie lost his job, right?
Yeah.
I can just relate to the summer window where we paid for Mason Mount. It was never a signing of Ten Hag. His signing was definitely Onana. It was definitely, Anthony Dos Santos. But there was a reason why he recruited those players and Licha, right? If you look at it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think
Ten Hag's style.
I think also, but just to answer, just on your point about players like Cavani, there's no club in their right mind would bring Cavani to Manchester United at that point. Absolutely no club that thinks it, because for me, I love Cavani. Is one of my favorite players of all time. He's up there. He's in a good it's quite high on my list of players that I've enjoyed watching over the years. But you look at his injury record, and you look at his age, and you look at what Manchester United actually needed at that time. You're not signing Cavani. That's not the player. Even if you're looking for players that are free transfers or loan players, Cavani should not be on your list of players that you're looking at all.
Never.
There was no energy in the team. There was no pace in the team. There was no creativity in the team. You're going to sign Cavani. What are you talking about? You can't. That's not a name that you should be. That's not a name that you should be discussing. So it's signings like that which show you, when Ollie had a lot of things working against him, and I'm not here to defend Ollie. Please don't kill me, because I was Ollie out quite early on. But for me, what Ollie's saying is things that we already knew, but it's good to hear from the horse's mouth, because he wasn't shy to say it then, which I was quite surprised by, because he loves Manchester United. So I didn't think that he would be so honest about it.
Yeah.
So I was really impressed by him for saying that. So it shows you what we suspected has been true all along.
Yeah, but he's a very nice guy, and he will never upset the apple cart. But he did it in a nice way. So, guys, if you're watching, please,
he did it,
yeah, give your thumbs up, smash a like for the video right here, right now. Big up to you, Jarvis, as well, for being in the chat as well. There's, I don't know how many are watching, but at the end of the day, let me just address that. Ollie. The problem is with Ollie that he became the interim manager, right? He was never supposed to be the full-time manager. What happened was that Woodward, out of joy, the egoistic Woodward, ran into to the dressing room and gave him a contract, right? Because he started to win, right? But the problem is that they appointed a whole new backroom staff with no experience. There was McKenna, right? There was, who else was it? McKenna, Phelan.
I don't even remember the staff. I don't remember who was there. I don't remember who was there. But you're right. They were inexperienced. But for me, I think they were experienced enough to have been able to put something together that was a little bit better than what it was. I mean, to be honest, Ole with his experience and what he had, he didn't do too badly at the club. If you look at it overall,
he did good. He did good. But
he
you
didn't
need
do
to
too badly at all.
The problem is you need to surround yourself with good coaches and good staff around you. It was just assembled quickly, right? And it was his dream job, and it was like, Glazers promised him certain things. Now he got sacked, right? Ragnick came in, did an open heart surgery, called the Glazers out. He was supposed to stay there as a consultant. Off you went. Yeah. But the problem is, right, Ten Hag comes in and everyone was waxing lyrical to say, we need an authoritarian. We need somebody who can discipline these fuckers, these players. And he did. First season. Oh my God, he did push-ups, training, extra running, people starting discipline. What he did was to take this shit bag of players, they're down-tooling, and made them into finishing third and winning the Carabao Cup. Now, come summer, he was planning, okay, now I'm going to play a high line, meaning that I'm going to recruit a sweeper keeper, right? And I'm going to have centre backs, including Leach and everyone, pushing high up on the pitch. So his style of play is pretty much to have 8 players above the pitch and just keep pressing, catching the ball, and have fast centre backs. So if the ball goes over the top, they can run. So what happened? Injuries happen, right? You got to be real. You got to be fucking real to say that. Mason Mount was never his signing, but he got him. Okay, fine. He can press off the ball and stuff like that. He really hasn't had, personnel to play his style. So he's been just trying to sort of jinx it, hop on one leg to get over. And I have never seen any club to have this bad season in terms of takeover, in terms of scandals, in terms of Anthony Santos sexual allegation, Greenwood, Ronaldo. He had to deal with fucking a lot, right? And now there's nothing more to talk about in media because the takeover is over. So they got to start another agenda.
Oh, they have to find something else. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But it's Manchester. They have to keep Manchester United on their lips. If they don't keep Manchester United on their lips, they don't eat. Their children will starve.
Yeah, true.
So they have to keep Manchester United on their lips. it's not. They haven't got a choice. They have to keep Man United on their lips.
No.
So it's
So we
simple
we,
as
we
that.
got to talk. We got to talk about something, Jimmy, right? Because there's been links in the media, and this is agents approaching United because the vouchers are so now circulating. We know that Thomas Tuchel wants a job. We know that Mourinho wants a job. We know that who else is out of job, like Nagelsmann and all that stuff. They are
Yeah.
linking us with what's his name?
But isn't
This
Nagelsmann is the German manager, isn't he now?
yeah. Still,
Yeah,
but to the Euros, and then of course you have everyone talking about the De Zerbi, right? And Potter. Yeah, it's lazy Germanism. Come on, because Dan Ashwood's going to come in. Who did Dan Ashwood manage? He managed De Zerbi. He managed Potter, right? But you tell me, if is there any better manager out there that can do the job at the moment, right? We are looking for somebody that has the experience of building a squad, get rid of a lot of players, at the same time winning things, right? You
yeah.
tell me, because everyone is now looking for a manager. Real Madrid is looking for a manager. Barcelona is looking for a manager. PSG is not looking for a manager. Klopp is leaving. There's going to be a lot of people looking for managers. Now, he's got 1 year left on his
So
contract.
I think you have to as a club now, and this is why I'm impressed by the fact that their approach has been a top down approach rather than starting here and
Yeah.
then just we'll worry about up there later. Like buying any player you want, but actually you haven't got any proper recruitment staff, and your whole structure is shit. So don't start down here. You have to start at the top, work your way down. So that is exactly what I was hoping would happen, and this is what they're doing. You've not seen any serious links with players yet, right? You've not seen any serious links with players. That tells me that they're not even thinking about players yet. Of course, they're thinking about players,
Mhm.
but their main concern is the structure up here. So they're starting up here, and they're going to work their way down. So for me, that tells me that they're going to make a decision on what type of manager they need and how long for, and what part that manager is going to play in this project that they're building. If you want someone to come in and replace Ten Hag this minute, that's going to be a very different person to someone that you want to come in the summer to then be the long-standing captain of this project. So that person has to be a project manager. It has to be someone that you trust, and even if it means they're not the long-term option, but they have to be. It has to be long enough, and they have to be. You have to trust them to at least take this long enough, so a consistent style of play is being developed at the club, so that when they leave, you don't even care who comes in because this
True.
style is now set in the club. So
Yeah.
they have to make a decision on what kind of manager they need and for how long. If they want a short-term replacement, for me, they should be looking at the big dogs. They should be looking at the Mourinhos. I wouldn't even mind Graham Potter. I don't care. I wouldn't mind. Couldn't be any worse. I don't care. Bring Potter on. Whoever you want to bring on for the short term. But if they're thinking about a long-term manager, then that's when they should be considering managers like De Zerbi and all the. I'm not convinced by most of them, just because I think when
You're
you come to
correct.
Manchester United, it's a very different beast of football. So
Just riddle me this then. I agree exactly what you're saying. So guys, there's like 150 of you watching right now. If everyone can give us the thumbs up, smash the like button right now, support this channel, because YouTube algorithm is a very funny matrix, to be honest. But riddle me this. You said something very, very smart there. How the fuck can we now look at managers when we haven't really have Omar Barada in yet? He's still on garden leave, right? We
yeah,
still haven't got in the structure, like the roof above, like Dan Ashford. We've been linked to Dougie Friedman as well, because he's available.
I think there needs to be a recruitment person there rather than just
Yeah,
having
but
Dan Ashworth. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but I'm saying that you need to get those people in first. There's 10, 11 games to play. It doesn't really make sense, right? So by all means, like, he's got 1 year left on his contract. You probably would think like this, like you said, we will work ourselves up and down. We'll come to the manager in the summer, right? If we're going to sack the manager, it's going to cost us 14 million, and then we have to start over again, a new process, which is going to take time. So isn't it better just to keep him and see what he can do, because he used to work in this structure before under Ajax? Like, Manchester United is the only club without having a proper sporting director, recruitment people. It's just been a shambolical run. Even Ole
Yeah.
said that in his interview.
Yeah.
So they probably will sit down in a professional manner in a footballing operations, Omar Barada, Dan Ashworth, Eric Ten Hag, and the head of recruitment, whatever that might be, and discuss these are the targets, these are the style of play. We will do the persona profiling for each position. Okay, you need a left back. What kind of characteristics? What kind of style of play do you want? Oh, he needs to be fast. He needs to be a dribbler. Let's look at what is on the market for the best price, right? Not like, oh, he's a big name. Oh, but it's got to be the right personality as well up here. Does it
Yeah.
fit within the squad? It's like I'm applying for your job. Like, you have a company, right? But you have a certain cultural values. These is our values, right? Ineos has that grit, fun, determination. You, when you're hiring people, they got to fit in within your team, right? True.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Egos.
But that's why I think for me, the management decision, I hope that the Sir Jim and Sir Dave Brailsford and all those guys, I hope they allow Dan Ashworth to be responsible for making a decision about the manager. I really hope they do, because he's going to be the person that has to work with this person. And
True.
I can't remember whose space it was, and they were very specific about this point. Whose space was it? Whose space was
I
it? Whose
don't know,
space was
man.
it?
I don't know. I'm
It
not.
might have been. I think it was on. I think it was on Danny's space, but I think it might have
Oh,
been
Devil in Detail
Nagy.
Space. Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been Nagy that made this point. I can't remember, but it was one of the smartest points I've heard say that the relationship between Dan Ashworth and the manager will be the be all and end all of success on the pitch.
100%.
That
100%. Because
relationship, if that relationship is not right, you're going to see those problems that we've seen for the last
yeah,
7 years. So you'll
no,
see the
Jimmy.
wrong players coming because the manager maybe has managed to get a favour from the owners to get a certain player that they want, and he's gone over Dan Ashworth, and then you see it the other way around, where Dan Ashworth is looking at the big picture, doesn't care what the manager wants. He's going to get this player, and he's going to force the manager to pay his player, and that's what you're going to get, and it's not going to work.
Here's the thing, Jimmy. Dan Ashworth's job will be the final reference check. You know what I mean? Okay, we
Yeah,
identified this target. How much is, but what about his personality? What about his characteristics? Will it fit? Because we are splashing the cash, 50 million, 60. Will he last? That is Dan Ashworth's job, right? Now, he
yeah,
did a blunder with Tonali. He didn't know that because of the gambling issues. But in terms of what he's done, like, he's bringing in the right type of players that work within the system at Brighton, works within the
yeah.
system at Newcastle. He's not a mug, but we haven't had that. So what?
No, we haven't.
So my point is here. I'm not Ten Hag in. I'm not Ten Hag out. I'm just a realist. That looking on the 360 holistic perspective, and I take everything in consideration, and I understand the root causes, right? Then I look what media is saying, and I go back in time now, and it's just clear and obvious. This is the same playbook over and over again, right? We sack a manager, we get ton shits to write about, and this makes us money, and we put food on the table for our family. Self-entitlement. So I don't believe in one single word. And of course, when they say, well, Jim Ratcliffe hasn't given him any reinsurance, that's because you need to appoint the right people on top first. Then you
Yeah,
come down to the manager, and then you come down to the recruitment, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
But
everything that we're
there's a
linked to
point.
at the moment, listen, everything that we're linked to at the moment goes out the window.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. But the point that Gary Neville made, which is, I know people hate Gary Neville. I quite like him as a football commentator, not when he's actually commentating a match. I hate him when he's commentating a match, but as a general football commentator, I like his points. I think he's pretty balanced generally. But he made a point about he was saying there's no way that Ineos haven't made a decision about Ten Hag yet. That's just not possible. They have already decided now whether they want to keep him or sack him based on what they've seen so far. Now, I'm not saying they're going to sack him if they've decided to sack him, because guess what? Football is a funny old game. Ten Hag could go on an absolute madness for the last 11 games of the season, and the team does things that everyone is wondering, where the hell is this coming from? And all of a sudden, he's their man again, right? So funny things happen in football. We've seen this many times. Don't forget, so Alex Ferguson was nearly sacked in his third year, wasn't it? He was nearly sacked. He hadn't won the league yet. No cup, no league. And football was looking a bit shaky, because the first season we played all right when Sir Alex arrived. And then the second season of football wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. But he was trying to bring his style of football. And, it just wasn't working. He's getting rid of players that the fans absolutely love, because, they're lads from down the road that they know, and, they're fond of these guys. But Sir Alex was getting rid of these players because he's like, they can't play football. So I have to get rid of them. So third season, still nothing yet. But the point I'm making is that it took 4 or 5 games for the board to change their mind on Sir Alex Ferguson and not sack him and keep him. And then look what happened. So Ten Hag could be lucky enough, if the universe was to repeat things, because it's Manchester United, maybe our Manchester United gods up there are watching down on us, and they just want us to have the best moment ever, and things turn round, and then Ten Hag stays, and we go on to glory for the next 7 years.
Yeah.
You never know. Football is a funny odd game.
It's a result business at the end of the day. But it's not doom and gloom. If you look at it, like, we are 11 points behind Villa, right? And there's plenty of ways for Villa to go wrong. They facing Arsenal, Chelsea, Brighton, and Liverpool, and they're also facing Spurs, right?
Yeah, I looked at it. They've got tough games. They have got quite a lot of tough games. Yeah,
Spurs though.
Yeah, but Villa seem to do well against big teams, even under pressure on the table. They seem to do well. They seem to do all right in those moments. In fact, they seem to do better when the table's given them put pressure on them.
All right. So Spurs clashes with Newcastle, Man City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. You get my point, right?
Yeah.
So there's tough games for those two, right? 100%. Well, we are only facing Liverpool twice in the FA Cup, right? We do face Arsenal also, and Brighton at the very end. But Brighton, we should get over the line. So who's to say that it's inevitable that those two will drop points, and fifth will probably get you Champions League? Probably. But who's to say? Because at the end of the day, you have an international break in the middle of March, right? You have players coming back, like, Rasmus Højlund will be back. Leacher will be back.
Yeah.
Mason Mount will be fit. You have a final crescendo with a lot of players. You have a full squad to play. At the moment, we've been hopping on one leg, playing players dispossessed, like, just trying to make ends. Duct tape FC, you know what I mean? Duct tape. Fixing it.
Yeah. Taping it together. But that's what you have to do when you have inadequate resources. And for me, the painful thing has been as well this season is I've seen Manchester United teams in the past when we were transitioning. So, for example, that transition from that class of '99 team into that Ronaldo, Tevez, Rooney era, that transition, there was a middle period where it was we had difficult moments in seasons. We still went on and won things, but we won purely by name. So a lot of teams against us in the season were just scared of Manchester United. So we'd have games where teams that you expect maybe to play a little bit would actually back off us, and we'll be thinking, have you guys not watched us this season? We haven't been that good. Why are you scared? But teams were shaking when Manchester United were coming to town. So that gave us a survival tool in those periods where it was difficult. The problem now is the name doesn't hold any weight anymore. So we haven't got the fear factor that we used to have. I hate using that word, fear factor that we used to have, but it's gone now. So now if we want to win, we have to play, we have to perform. So it's very different, very, very different time now.
That's true. But the thing is that sad state of affair is that we used to be Manchester City, right? We used to have abundance of talents, amazing bench, and we used to win
Yep.
everything. But the problem is we didn't cheat to get there. You
Well,
know what I
no, we
mean?
didn't. We
No.
didn't.
And then
We
Glazers
didn't.
came along and put us in 1 billion in debt using credit cards to buy shit players for each manager, and each manager dictated the style of play. So you put
But
everything together, like 5, 6 managers, different
yeah,
players, different style. So what we need right here, right now, according to my opinion, sensible opinion, just to clear out everything that Ten Hag doesn't want. And then you come to the summer, all right, Martial is out. Maybe Luke Shaw will be going out as well. Maybe Rashford, maybe this and this and that. And then you start fresh with a blank piece of canvas, like what Ateta did. So I don't want to see like some people might call like, make you a Ten Hag. No, I just don't. I just want to see the club doing the right thing, to see out like a manager to have full 3 years out of his contract, because we haven't had it. Jose got sacked after 2 years. Van Gaal got
yeah.
sacked. Ole got sacked after 2 years. We haven't had a manager to complete a full 3 year cycle. So if you sack the manager right now, everything that he's been implementing goes out the window, and you got to start over again, and hope to God within 3 years we will challenge him for the title. So
Mm.
I don't think that Ineos are that stupid, to be honest. I don't think that they're
No,
stupid.
no, they're not. I think I think it's a very, very tricky period for Ineos because you've got this squad of players that a few of them are very talented players, and there's potential there, but you also want success. And what you've seen from these players is that they're not capable of giving you that success. But then the problem is they're then now making an assessment to say, right, maybe if we take some of them out and then add some into some of them, that might work. They might actually perform better. They might provide us success. But do we take that gamble, or do we gut the thing and start over? Well, starting over is easier said than done, because starting over will be way more painful than keeping some of these players and just adding to that squad. Because when you're starting
100%.
over, you're
100%.
it's 50% or less success rate in terms of players that you bring into the club. It's the Premier League. That's the numbers. That's how it works.
True.
Players that come
True.
into the Premier League, the stats will show you season by season. It's way less than 50% most seasons.
He said
So
something about at the very end of that interview as well, because there was like, what's your view on the current situation with Manchester United? And he said very, very one thing. He was backing Ten Hag and wanted him to do well, right? But he said, like, back in the days and nowadays it's totally different beast of animals. And this is what I've been saying.
yeah,
United's been stuck in quicksand, not looking up, not understanding, not reading the room, while others been catching up, getting the structure, the vision, the projects, recruiting, like, sporting directors and stuff like that. So, and that leads that a lot of players has become, and a lot of clubs have become more successful on the pitch as well, because it's becoming very competitive. Just
yeah,
because you
yeah.
travel down to Bournemouth doesn't mean that you're going to get guaranteed 3 points, right?
Yeah,
But
no,
bloody
exactly,
Bournemouth,
and
but bloody
and
Bournemouth has
we've
a sporting director, a recruitment director, everything else.
yeah, but we've seen it. I mean, we've been so bad at times. I've lost the ability to kind of hope that they will get a result from any team at all. I don't expect us to get a result, and
No,
that's a really bad place to start. So when I'm talking about Ineos, they're going to have to make a decision. If your team is that bad that you can't even look at any team in the Premier League and say, right, at least there we're definitely going to get 3 points.
yeah,
We can't do that, because literally any team can beat Manchester United.
but is it because he sets up, he's changing thing. When we play City, we played a 4-2-2-2, right? You saw boxes. The midfield were 2 attackers. Some people call it 4-2-2, but he did change it up. But when you look at his fucking bench, he goes, "So what the hell am I having here, right?" And then you look at City. Their bench walks in any Premier League first team, yeah, and that's by cheating. You know what?
Yeah, but if you change it up and then you're playing players in the wrong positions, what's the point? What's the point? What if you're Ten Hag is been doing this thing where it's like he is obsessed with what he is seeing 10 minutes from now. Now that's fine as a manager; you have to plan ahead of the match, but don't worry about what's happening in 10 minutes. Address this now. Look, Garnacho's just misplaced 4 passes in a row. You're worried about what's happening in 15 minutes. Don't talk to him now. He's just done that right now. He's done it. You've not spoke to him about it. Bruno's misplaced 3 passes. I know Bruno's a risk taker. He's a creator. He has to take risks. But no, he wasn't even anywhere near creating. He just needed to pass to someone, and he's misplaced 3 of them. Speak to him now. Don't worry about what he's going to do in 10 minutes. It doesn't matter because they're fucking up right now. So speak to them now. Don't write what's going to happen in 10 minutes. Address this minute.
The writing to success to actually get Champions League is down to the players. I believe that he gives instructions, but I believe that they don't have the IQ to complete the order.
I agree. I think they need orchestrating like a choir. Like they need, they need directing minute by minute by minute in the match.
But we need what you said earlier today was spot on, right? It's a mismatch of misfits of everywhere, like in positions. You look at any other team. I watched the Champions League yesterday, right? Bayern Munich, Kane versus Lazio.
Good match. That Bayern Munich game. Good
Musiala,
players,
fucking baller, right? They're all dribblers. Did he disappear? Yeah, Jimmy just disappeared. He's got bad laggy Wi-Fi, but I will go.
I was getting a phone call. Sorry about that.
Oh, right. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that, we need ballers. We need people with technical ability. We need, you need to let the manager to actually build a squad that it resembles what he wants to do, right?
Yeah.
I just take an example with Arteta, right? He took him 2 years, 3 years to get rid of everything that he didn't want to. So he started to play the youth. Like, he started to bring in Odegaard. He started to bring in Saka into the play. He started to bring in who else am I missing? And then he added on some experience, right? Tachenko and all that stuff. But now he's cooking. Everyone was calling Arteta out. Like he finished 8 in 2 seasons. And same with Klopp. But why can't we see the forest from the trees? Why do we have to say cry wolf?
I'm gonna say something which a lot of people have absolutely annihilated me for it. But I mean, Arteta's been smart. He's been very smart, right? So this is me preempting what I'm actually going to say. Arteta's been smart. He's recruited quite smartly. I think he's also been really good at game management with the players. He's been good at, even when he changes his players around, like he puts them in positions where they're really happy to play there and they still perform for him and stuff. He's been very calculating in doing that. But I will say, he's also been lucky. Arsenal have been lucky a lot in so many different ways. I think now this back end of the season, they're really performing well. But there's periods where they've won games and it's not because it's this thing where, some teams just know how to win games. No, they've just been lucky. And it pisses me off. Because Arsenal will outplay everyone in terms of how, because they move the ball around. They move the ball really well. They move the ball around. But there's been games where they haven't outplayed the opponent. They've had more of the ball, but they haven't outplayed them.
True.
I can go back and look at certain games that they've drawn where I think, how the hell did they not lose that game? Where these teams have just missed chances, and they've not even been bad. They've just missed chances, and Arsenal have walked away with a draw, or they've walked away with a win, and I'm just like, you lot are just lucky sometimes, man. They've been so lucky sometimes. And I'm not hate. This is not hate. This is not hate. This is just my observation is, yes, they've been good. They've played amazing football. Definitely, for me, second best team in the league. I think they're better than Liverpool, personally.
I think
in
they
terms
deserve
of,
to win the league.
I think Liverpool deserve to win the league for a whole different reason. But I think Arsenal have played better football than Liverpool. Liverpool just win. They know how to win. They know how to win matches. They're really good at that. They can win a match. So, you know, but yeah, if you sometimes you look at Arsenal, you just think that was lucky. You didn't deserve that. You did not deserve to get a draw in that match. You know, I can go back a few games that I can think of, but I think they've been lucky. But overall, I think they've done great, and I think Arteta's made the right choices, and I think he's gonna. If he doesn't push this season, which looks very unlikely, because Liverpool do look good, and obviously City are just City, innit? They go on this mad run, and then they're beating everyone, and they're probably gonna be there. So yeah, I hope it goes to the end, but I think they have been lucky at times.
Yeah, fine. I'm gonna bring in Botswana Papi to the stage as well. Papi, you there, my friend?
Mick, I'm going to shoot in a minute anyway, because I remember I told you that I have to leave about 7:00. So yeah, I'm going to shoot. I'm going to shoot.
Yeah. So bring in Papi to the stage while you shoot as well. So Papi, how you doing?
Papi,
Jimmy.
Wagwan, bro. Wagwan, bro. You good?
I'm good, bro. How are you? How's Kobe Maynard doing?
Yo, Kobe, mate. Yo, these guys are letting my son down, bro. You know what? You put in my superstar son, you put bums around him. How? Make it make sense.
Make it make sense, bro.
You put in a superstar of a football player, and you put in bums all around him. You put in these guys that should be on the unemployment line. You're putting them around this superstar of a gem of a player, bro. I'm telling you, man.
Seriously. No, Jimmy, I know you gotta bounce, but I was enjoying your conversation with Mick. As what you guys were talking about, the bunch of misfits, mismatches that we have going on. Players that could play a possession. There's a few players that could play possession, but the rest is counter-attacking players and players with attributes that don't really complement each other. And this squad needs some thorough, ripping apart, starting again, and make sure that you get the players that complement each other, so you can actually have a system.
Perfectly said.
Yeah,
man.
yes,
Said.
I'll let
bless
you
you guys,
go.
man. Yeah, big up.
Peace out, Jimmy.
Yeah, to all the listeners, big up. Nice to see you guys. Thanks. Make sure you smash the like button, everyone. Before you go, do it now. Before I leave, smash the like button right now if you're watching. Smash it now.
Big up, Jimmy.
See you later, guys.
Nice. Smash the like.
Nice one, bro.
Bye.
Later, Jimmy.
Later, Jimmy. Thank you for joining the party, and
let me tell you about the party, Mick. Okay.
Tell me about the party.
I've been sitting here being so nostalgic because of Gunnar Solskjaer. Every time I listen to that man speak, man, I just get it. You know that song, If I Could Turn Back the Hands of Time. Ronaldo, you wouldn't come back to Man United, and Ole would still be at the wheel. Okay, maybe not Ole still at the wheel, but for me, the nostalgia that I get from just seeing that interview, it gave me a few thoughts that I actually wanted to just spew out to you real quick. So the first thing is there's so much bureaucracy at Man United. When you're listening to Ole speak, you can get a little bit of a slice of life of what it means to be a Manchester United manager, and then also navigate all the hurdles that you have to navigate. And Ole exposed a lot of things, but one big takeaway that I got from that interview is the fact that there is too much red tape. Too many steps, too many people that need to be consulted. I understand the need for a thorough protocol and hierarchy in decision making, but that cannot compromise efficiency. How many times have we seen Man United linked with a player, and then from there you know, there's just this happens, and another club comes in, scoops that player because we're waiting for a signature, we're waiting for Ed Woodward, or we're waiting for whoever, Glazer, who's with the Qataris right now, or on holiday, or whatever. There's just too many steps, too much red tape that needs to be streamlined and finessed properly, you know, because channels of communication are important, but they cannot sacrifice the efficiency of the decision-making process.
That's it.
One. Another thing I want to add is that obviously I'm sure everybody is already aware of this, the Haaland talk and the Bellingham talk, how we missed out on them. That part infuriates me, and it's just gonna make me. That's why I was just wondering. I was like, if I could turn back the hands of time and have Ronaldo go to Man City, then surely Haaland would have probably.
Oh no! I thought you're gonna sing the. I thought you're gonna sing Chair. If I can turn back time.
No. I don't know the melody of it actually, but I know Chair. I love Chair. But it's the thing about it is just if buts and maybes, right? That's the world that's like I was just sort of in. It's not a very useful world to live in, but it's just something where you're looking at the flow of events and looking at how things turned out and what could have possibly happened if only, you know, Ronaldo was so close to going to City. If only he just didn't come to Man United, maybe things would have gone differently. But whatever. Let's put that one aside. The other thing that I want to bring up is the fact that, you know, you obviously saw that, you heard that moment when Oli talking about his final game in charge, and he's like, during the team talk at halftime, he was like, whoever wants to play can play. Get your hand up if you don't want to play. And, you know, he didn't specifically mention the players, but obviously the Man United fan base was so, we know a lot of, we're looking for these clues. We can put two and two together, and Rashford and McTominay came off, and Martial and Van de Beek came on, which makes you wonder, isn't Rashford part of like what, you know, isn't McTominay part of the pair that, you know, some of the dead wood that we've been trying to like talk about and clearing since like the last couple of like transfer windows, especially more so McTominay, not Rashford, but McTominay has been, him and Fred, we've talked about this being like, get a lot of the fans, we've been saying this, get those guys out. We need to sort of change our identity away from
like
counter-attacking.
Fred is still alive. That's the thing. Fred is still there. Fred left.
Fred is still alive, and what's funny is in the derby, I actually missed Fred. I can't lie to you.
The other day. Listen, you deserve a standing ovation for your speech. Yay!
Thank you. Yeah, it's those are like some of the quick thoughts that I just wanted to make sure that I share about the interview. I mean, there's like, obviously it's a very long interview. It exposes many other things. The fact that the squad really is lacking leaders, like actual leaders, you know, and also just the fact that, you know, we need to make the next step, you know, and that's, I think, where we thought we were looking at Ten Hag's season from last time around, right? From last season, and we're hoping this is the season to make the next step. But it seems like the progress, this season should have been Ten Hag's first season, and then last season should have been Ten Hag's second season in terms of the way things rolled out, you know?
True. I mean, there's so much to unpack from the Ollie's interview. I mean, he literally called the Glazers out and the whole system, but in a nice way, you know. And you're speaking about the red tapes of different levels that he had to go through, right? So he had to go through, like, you know, the veto. It's 4 different vetoes, according to what he was saying. And no wonder it took so long for doing any business, and everyone had to agree, right? This is just how it's been. And then you look at, shit, all right, what's going on here with Ten Hag this season? That's what you said. Well, he recruited in a sweeper keeper to play a high line, you know, with fullbacks pushing forward. We're supposed to play like, you know, on their half, having 8 players pushing forward, pressing. But who can do that right now? You know, with Maguire, you cannot play that style, right? You're back on hugging that 6-yard box like we did with De Gea to protect, right? So it isn't clear and obvious that all these injuries ruined his whole fucking season, to be honest. And then you come to the December, right? I covered I covered the January window. It was a dire window, but I listened to a lot of his pressers, and they asked the question, "Are you going to get any loanies in?" Well, I want, but there is no room for the FFP, right? So what happened is, right? We had a Ferrari car, and we loaned out all our spare parts and sold the spare parts, right? So literally running on bare bones, right? We are like Disney on ice.
Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah.
that's not Ten Hag's fault. That is this choice of Mercer and everyone else from financial reason, Patrick Stewart and all them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So banking on that Luke Shaw is going to come back. He did come back. Leach came back. What happened? They all got injured. So how you then expect to sort of race to the finish line to get top 5 or top 4 with this thing squad? It's unprecedented, right? And how do you then prepare for all this? So I just wonder, because I see fans on Twitter, on socials, like giving it like it used to give for Ollie, like they used to do for Jose, for everyone. It's the same fucking trap that media is setting up for you, and you're falling for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
And it becomes like a whirlwind that, like, all right, what's the word? A snowball effect that just kind
snowball
of
effect,
just,
yeah.
ends up becoming bigger than what it actually is. And we, of course, well, what right now the Ferrari is lacking some parts, but if you want to look at it, it's still a Ferrari, and if you get the right parts, you can actually make it move like a Ferrari, make it like,
Yeah.
drive like a Ferrari. But right now, the parts that are, those I don't know if you've had the like friends who have owned like a scrapyard, like a mechanic who
Yeah.
owns like
Scrapyard.
and these cars that are put together, there's like a yellow door from like a Fiat, and then like you can see like the
Exactly.
steering wheel is a Subaru steering wheel, but the engine is a BMW engine. That's exactly what we got in the
That's a
United
good
right now.
analogy. 100%. You deserve fireworks for this one. That's the best analogy I heard. It's like putting it back. The door is Volvo and it's orange
Yeah,
color, but you have a black
yeah.
car. The steering wheel, it's a
Oh
Subaru,
my God!
and the engine.
Yeah,
You can have
and
a
it,
laugh about
and
it.
it goes like this, like the car is like we got that low suspension and go. And the road is like, oh, there goes Mick and his Man United.
But it's true. It's so bloody true. So if and then you have to have the wheels, like the back wheels and the front wheel, they have to be balanced. Otherwise, you will skid off the road. And this is
Yeah.
exactly what's going on. We're skidding, hopping. So
The whole thing needs alignment, man. It needs to be properly fixed. Shout out to the
for
people
real,
that are
for
in the
real.
chat, by the way.
For real, tell me any manager that haven't invested in a big signing that flopped. We spoke about Arteta signing Pepe Pepperoni for 76-80 million. Where did Pep
Yes.
go? He just totally disappeared. Every manager done it. Sir Alex Ferguson also signed players that didn't work, flopped, right? So
Yeah.
the media is so quickly to point fingers on certain things, like, oh, you signed Anthony for this much money, but it wasn't his fault. He wanted him, but it was Murtaugh and fucking that clown show that went on a fucking holiday in the middle of the summer, came back 2 weeks left of the transfer window. Oh, panic station. We need this. They spent time on Frankie De Jong to the very end. They went to another fucking Casemiro as a, duct tape FC to fix that solution, but it's not what Ten Hag wanted, right?
No.
So he
No.
had to sort of all of a sudden readjust his plan and his playing style. All right, come this season, I think I want this. Glazers again.
I totally agree with you, and right now I think it's just a matter of for Eric Ten Hag, it's a matter of just getting to the end of the season, stabilize the turbulence. That's all that he could possibly do, because right
But
now,
seriously, sorry, man. In January window, you're asking for fucking loanies. They're not giving you fuck all. I'm sorry to say that. Now they're loaning at Hannibal. They're loaning at Garnacho. And not Garnacho, but Pelistri. They're loaning at Dangor. They're loaning at everything. And what you have, right? you come to this point of the season, and you look at the bench. What the fuck do I have? Johnny Evans, 36 years of age, Harry the Hoover, who can't hardly like stay fit, right? Victor Lindelof that needs to be out of here ASAP. Right? And you expect us to play a high line here, and you expect us to play a good football like with that midfield. And we are actually, praying that Kobe Maino will be our savior and a 21-year-old Rasmus Højlund to lead the Lions. We don't have a backup striker. It's obvious, right?
Yeah.
So it's
No.
not Ten Hag's fault. It is above they wanted to save money, right? And then you got to say, okay, you got to finish top 4 or you fired. Fuck off. Right? Ain't my fucking fault. And if you're fucking Sir Brailsford, you would understand everything. You would understand if you look at performance
Yeah.
management. Well, hang on a second. Luke Shaw clocked in what? How many injury minutes? 1,200 something days. And how much are we
Wow.
paying you? Right.
Wow.
Seriously. I mean, I would
Well,
look at that.
basically paying him to just like be friends with the medical team at Man United. He spends more time in the medical team than on the pitch.
Yeah. So if you're going to look at performance management, you're definitely going to look at work as well. If you're a manager at work, you will look at how many sick hours do you have and how much do you put as a KPI, key performance
Yeah.
indexes. Whoa, hang on, I'm going to replace you 100%. In a normal work situation, how much are you actually getting paid? Why am I paying you this much? How much I am getting back in return on investment? Get out of here, right? This is what needs to happen right now. So again, I believe it's more media driven and agents driven, pushing their clients to Manchester United to say, look, Tuchel's out of job. So Tuchel wants to, I'm representing Tuchel, so I'm going to put him forward to Manchester United. Vouchers are there just in case he's fucking up, right? But at the end of the day, we have like 8 good games left to play, like, an easier games. So we have Everton, we have players coming back. So I don't want to see this shit taking place that media again are crapping on us. I love my club. I don't like Players FC, but these players need to go. Some of them need to go.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, well said. It's just a matter of like properly clearing out the ones that need to go, or rather keeping the ones that need to stay, because I think there's like 2 or 3 or 4 maybe. But at the same time, there's got to be some realistic approach to it, because at the end of the day, if we have a mass exodus, we risk like even more turbulence. It's like, I feel like we have to sort of be systematic with it, and but still know, like, all right, this is the game plan. If you're not leaving this summer, by next summer you will be gone. It's not about running your contract down. It's about finding a way to get out of here, to get you out of here, because you know what? Quite frankly, you're a nice guy, but you're dead wood to the Manchester United squad. We need players that are more than just good. We need excellent players that are going to
Elite
play
mentality.
for the badge as well, So there's a lot of that, and a lot of variables to consider: the player's age, how much time they have left on their contract, and so forth. What price value could they possibly go for? But all this needs to be done in a systematic manner. It can be scattergun approach, just like Chelsea or Nottingham Forest or whatever. You gotta make sure that there is a little bit of a rhyme and reason to it.
Facts. I mean, you said it well. Like, you got to play for the club. I mean, the thing is, we love this club. We all for the club. Like, we're here for the club, right? I don't want to see a manager sacked again. I just want to see him, like, give him 3 years tenure out, and then you assess it, right? With a proper structure in place, he's not a bad manager. Like, we've seen that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was forced to play a certain style of football. He was forced to sort of change his style of play because what the club was giving him, right? This is not what I ordered. If I go to the fucking restaurant and say, Papi, I want a fucking, a T-bone steak, and you give me a chicken fillet, it's not what I wanted, right?
No.
So then I all of a sudden have to change my whole plate. Like, okay, with the chicken fillet, I want broccoli on the side, some little bit of a gravy. But with the T-bone, you want to have that nice what do you call red wine sauce and all that stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or pepper sauce
Yeah.
with potato. In an analogy. So, guys, anyway, if you're watching, we're about to give us the thumbs up, like and subscribe. If you haven't, please, the thumbs up is so important. I can't iterate. We have the animation thumbs up. Big up for you, man. Big up for everyone. And I just got to give it a balanced approach, right?
Yeah.
I'm not in, I'm not out. I'm just let us see, right? I'm all about
Yeah.
performance management.
What do you think about Neil's point, by the way, and Neil's last comment on the chat about only 6 players would keep and the rest they gotta go?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Which 6, if I may ask quickly as we wrap up?
which 6? Varane will not make it, unfortunately.
Which 6 will make it? That's the shorter list.
Licha,
The ones who won't make it are long.
Lisandro Martinez, Diego Dalot, Bruno will make it. Haaland will make it. And did I miss something important? Kobe Maino.
Okay.
Right?
I was worried.
The rest is going anyway. I said it. Christian Eriksen, I called it out last season as well. I said he's becoming a Juan Mata with technical abilities with no legs. He's going in the summer. Anthony Martial is going by default anyway. There's another 300 off the wage bill anyway. Maguire needs to go because he doesn't fit the system that you want to play. He's an old class libero, like a sweeper center back. He doesn't suit the style. And then Lindelof, you can't get rid of everyone, right? Lindelof probably has to go. But who would you play as a center back? You will definitely have Licha. You will have Kwambala in there as well. Alvaro Fernandes will come back probably from his loan spell and play like the Luke Shaw understudy. But Luke Shaw needs to be looked at as well as what we discussed, right? It's time to go. How old is he? 28 and injury prone.
Yeah.
The thing is,
he's 28, 29, I think. Yeah.
But at the same time, you need a squad depth. Scott McTominay, I think he could do a job from the bench, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not earning more than 60,000 a week, and that's cheap, right?
Yeah. He pretty much has to make the one of the most important career decisions of his life this summer. Does he want to accept the role of being a bench player and come in from the bench, or does he want to go be a starter at West Ham or
Would you keep
whatever,
Evans?
Sevilla?
Would you keep Evans for another year on the bench? That's not what you want to do, right?
That's not what I want to do, but I guess, Evans has he knows his role. He knows he'll get 5 games in a season and he'll stay fit and try and give his best anytime is given. So I guess Johnny Evans could stay because you don't want to.
I agree with Lucky Singh, Martinez, Bruno, Haaland, Kobe Maino, Garnacho, Willy Kwambala, and Dalot. So that's 7, right?
Yes, Lucky. Yeah.
So Evans stay is fine. I mean, as a leader, why not, right?
Yeah.
But I can't believe that we are reverting to a 36-year-old centre back to lead the line right now. He can't play full 90 minutes. So this is how dire the season has been. So what I'm trying to say is this Ten Hag's fault? And a lot of leagues coming out to say he gets us to run extra laps and blah. Fuck off! You're a fucking football player, man. You need to be fit, right?
Yes.
And then you look at how many how many losses do we have? Okay, well, how many defenders did we have to force to use in front of Vanana until he had a solid back 4 pairing? Right? It's not until now that you see confidence of Onana to save, having clean sheets and saving.
Yeah. I really like this comment that's in the chat, by the way. Bruno has to go for me, but like you said, he will stay for now. McTominay has to go. We need to move away from using players like him. I would keep Evans for one more year, a leader with experience, particularly for what you said right there at the end. A leader with, what this club is dying for leaders.
Leaders,
and
we're gonna have
and
leaders.
Johnny Evans, I guess, brings that as well.
Okay,
But
well, I flip the question to you, Papi. Then, who would you keep? Let's say
I mean,
seven.
that's a very the list is very similar to what Lucky said. Definitely Martinez. We want players that complement each other and also can help us
But we
keep
have
the ball.
Malacia. I forgot we have Malacia. Somebody called the missing persons.
Malacia can stay. He's still young. You can tell he still has a lot to offer and a lot of time to develop. He just needs to make sure that he's available next season because it's make a decision on Martial's season on Malacia next season. He's the thing about him is like you can tell the few moments that he got last season. You can tell that this guy, he wants to give his all. He's a fighter. You don't get the feeling that he's leaving something reserved for himself, at the end of the game. So I would keep him. But the main six that are staying for sure, it's obviously Lisandro Martinez. He has to be there. He's a pillar. I want to also keep, what's his name? Hoyland, obviously. Kobe Maino has to stay. Garnacho has to stay, and for now, Onana can stay.
Yeah, of course. Onana is default. Yeah.
Onana can stay.
Casemiro has got 2 years left on his contract. Would you keep him for another year?
He just needs to get the next 10 games or so that are left. Casemiro has to prove it. He has to earn it. He has to earn it. Like because there's a player in there, but I just feel like he just hasn't had the time to just sharpen up his form. So I still feel like you need somebody that Kobe Maino can sort of like learn from. And have like a little bit of a mentor. That's done it. That's in there in the club with him. So Casemiro can stay on those grounds as long as he impresses for the rest of the season. I guess that's 6.
You did have 6.
And Anthony, the thing about Anthony, this was for me, this was the him for him. Make your case, Anthony season. This was the make your case. Let me see why you deserve to be a Manchester United player. And he's not helping himself. He's making the wrong cases.
You go back and look at his stats at Ajax, like how many crosses he used to put in and how many shots on target, how many goals, assists, and stuff like that. It was a totally different. Of course, you can say Eredivisie, but we had Robin from Persie from Eredivisie. We had a lot of good Dutch players that came from Eredivisie. So it is time to assess that situation, but reality hits. And you cannot replace everyone in one season, right?
No.
This will not be like 9, 11 players out. It's impossible, right?
Yeah.
So I think you will look at the wage bill structure, anything above 150, and just get rid of that. I think. But anyway.
Yeah, man. Let's wrap up. Close the shop because I'm also about to do a Champions League watch along.
Today. Big up for all of you for coming in. Thank you, Papi.
Hit the like button. They should change it into a heart button. Actually, YouTube, you can do better. Hit the like button, guys. And
because you know what,
subscribe
we come here. We come here as a passionate Reds. We all have opinions. Some of you are Ten Hag out. Some of you are Ten Hag in. But at the end of the day, what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did today was totally expose the whole system, right? And this is what we have to celebrate. So for me, this is for the Glazers, and this is for the like button, right? So guys, you can smash that like button. Big up for Papi, the big man himself, and big up to all of you in the chat. You can see that pointing that way. And and thanks for Uncle Jimmy as well. And you're going to cover the Champions League. So where can people watch your Champions League? On Football Power Hour.
Hey, that's the channel. That's the channel to go support. We're almost at 1K. Come on. I think 30 something or so. But the main thing is we enjoy Champions League football. Even though Manchester United is not in it, we still support the competition, and we love to see other. One day it'll be us. One day it'll be us.
We will be there.
Yeah.
Book the hotel.
We will be there.
Book the hotel.
So, yeah.
Big up, Papi.
Yes,
Big up for coming in. Everyone, thank you for coming in. So, Real Madrid is playing Sociedad, right? No, hang on. Who was it? Real Madrid.
It's Real Madrid Leipzig.
Leipzig. Oh, that's going to be a walk.
Yeah, and Real Madrid have a 1-goal advantage right now. And then obviously the other game is Man City Copenhagen. Could Man City bottle it? Could Copenhagen do the unthinkable at the Etihad? I doubt it. But it's okay to dream. Imagine Copenhagen score 3. Nick, that would be amazing.
That'd be madness. I don't think anything can
But
happen. The ball is round.
the ball is round. Exactly. Guys, let me head over to Football Power Hour. That's the name of the channel. Go check it out. But while you're watching here, hit the subscribe button, like, and also the notification bell. It's very important, guys. Do not forget to do that. And yeah, man, big up everybody that's in here. Yale is in the building as well. Big up to you. And there's a lot of love and folks in the chat, in the VAR room. So I just want to just spread the love there too.
Thank you. Enjoy your watch along, Papi. Enjoy your stream. Thank you for coming in. Thanks for everyone. And by the way, we got to go and close the shop here. But before we do, I want to just thank you for contributing in the chat. Thank you, Fishy Fish, for donating 5 memberships. Thank you, Ellen Tenno. Thank you for all the moderators. Thanks for Papi. And still cool and composed. Always ask the question, what is the agenda? What is the media want? This has been Mick Ruby here from MUFC Realist TV, having my say, and hopefully we made you a little bit better day. That's all, folks. See you to the next one. Bye for now. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.